so we talked a little bit about Marvel, but I want to throw it to the panel to talk a little bit about Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy. Which
why?
Vader, I know that all things Star Wars just invoke the gag reflex in you, but this article came out recently about how Kathleen Kennedy was making excuses as to why Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy was not actually moving forward.
He's just so damn popular and good that we just can't.
Yeah, she says that they talk constantly and that he's just super busy with all of his Agatha Christie ripoffs, that he doesn't have time for the most popular franchise on the planet. And you know, like there is something to that in the sense that like Rian Johnson makes more money doing the Knives Out stuff than he ever would.
Because it's his property, right?
Yeah, because he owns it.
It's his property stolen from someone else, but it's it's his property.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and he probably doesn't get half the grief from Star Wars fans, you know, doing mystery movies than he does.
Well, you watch
actually
it
doing Star Wars. What I do watch it because I love mysteries. And they're terrible. They're actually terrible mysteries. But Matt Vader, do you think Rian Johnson's ever going to get his trilogy?
I mean, it's no. I mean, no. I don't know what else to say. He's never going to get it. I mean, it's probably there if he wants it, as long as Kathleen Kennedy's still sitting there. But no, I don't think he really honestly has any interest in making it, to be honest. Why would he? I mean, there's just going to be a whole half the fandom's going to go after him the second that they even say anything about it. People like us out there, it's like, and none of us want it. I don't think he wants to make it. I don't think there's a reason for him to make it until maybe someday he gets canceled and needs something to come back with or whatever. But no, it's not. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't want it to happen, at least. I mean, in my brain, that's how I'm going to justify it not ever happening. So we don't want it. He doesn't want it. So why would we ever get it? So
Brian, I think Kathleen Kennedy is on record as loving working with Rian Johnson because he's one of the few directors that she's worked with in the Star Wars era that actually brought something in on time and on budget and didn't give her any headaches about it. So do you think that there's anything to the idea that if Rian Johnson comes in and he's not forced to use any legacy characters, kind of do his own thing, could he make like a good Star Wars trilogy?
No.
I don't think so.
Next. That was easy.
Here's the deal. Like you know, I try to be positive. I try to be positive.
Yeah, but a Rian Johnson trilogy would be HIV positive.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was given free reign. Like, here's the deal. People blame him. Like, he is the problem with episode 8. However, Kathleen Kennedy was like, do your own thing. He didn't even see the end of 7 before he produced 8. Like, he did his own thing. Literally, didn't even have to consider the ending of the previous film to make the sequel. And it's really what completely destroyed Star Wars, or at least the very first blow. And no, I don't think he can, man. I don't think he understands Star Wars. I don't think he likes Star Wars, because he was like, instead of making a Star Wars movie, I want to make a World War II movie set in the Star Wars universe. Like, what the fuck is that? It's so weird. Yeah. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense logically, physically, in any way. It don't make sense, and it was just bad. I don't think so.
Yeah, Razor, Kathleen Kennedy is kind of notorious for getting Star Wars projects moving and then canceling them. And she announced this Rian Johnson trilogy like right before The Last Jedi came out because she was so high on the movie, thinking that it was going to be this huge hit. But since then, like, she's really kind of shot herself in the foot constantly with the Rogue Squadron movie, announcing it and canceling it. Famously Solo coming in and having to reshoot that entire film. Why do you think that she just hasn't put the kibosh on Rian Johnson's trilogy and told everyone that they're moving forward with something new?
Saving face. That's all it is. It's that petty. It's the same reason she hasn't been fired. To be honest, it's people have been predicting since time immemorial that Kathleen Kennedy was going away, and from the very beginning, I've gone on record. You guys can go back and look. I have said you people are fucking fooling yourself. They cannot fire a woman in current year, especially not one who they had celebrated to the moon and back, and who is as connected to as many power brokers in Hollywood as Kathleen fucking Kennedy is. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson, it's as simple as she cannot admit she fucked up. It makes her look bad. You can see the way that Disney and Lucasfilm have dealt with prior failures. They do not admit them. They simply sweep them under the rug and move on to the next thing. And this is 100%. So when she's asked about Rian Johnson, one of the reasons her excuses are so transparent is because it's one of the rare cases where she doesn't have a next thing to move on to. Right? Normally, she could just be like, oh, look at the shiny thing that we're working on over here. But Star Wars is dead outside of Disney Plus, and frankly, it's on life support even there. So there's nothing else to call attention to. This is how it's been for her, right? She cannot admit fault. It makes her brand look bad. Look, she's probably eventually going to get promoted up. That's usually what happens to people who fail as hard in the position that Kathleen Kennedy has been in. They wind up failing upward and being in a position where they can't do any more damage, but they get to say that they were actually promoted rather than fired. And that's probably what's going to occur here. She's probably looking at Rian Johnson much the same way. Oh, he's been promoted to Knives Out. Don't worry about it. It's kind of what's going on. And look, if you're Rian Johnson, he was so autismally mad about the reaction to The Last Jedi. You saw him on social media. He'll still periodically mention it. He's still so deeply, he's a fucking human salt lick about it.
He really is.
And you cannot, I think he's happy to be working on Knives Out, not just because it's making him billions, but also because I don't have to deal with that fucking headache anymore. That's really what it comes down to. If she's selling any other story, she's full of shit.
This is true. What did you think of the announcement that they're doing a new movie with Daisy Ridley as Rey, coming back with basically giving Rey Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Order from the books storyline?
They can say whatever they like. I don't know. I actually think that it maybe has a little more to do with the fact that some of the shyness gone out of superheroes a little bit. So Disney is sort of looking at, oh fuck, what do? We didn't get on the video game movie thing fast enough. What do we do? We still have Star Wars. Let's do something with us. I think you're maybe going to see a renewed focus on Star Wars happening pretty soon here, because the Marvel thing is starting to hit its lower ebb. So I think that's honestly all it has to do with. And Daisy Ridley, what the fuck has she been doing? You know what I mean? Like, what's she? This shit.
Well, you have one of the most unpopular Star Wars characters coming back to headline a new movie. And then we also got James Mangold doing The First Jedi, which is basically a sword and sandals biblical epic, according to him. And then we got Dave Filoni doing like a Mandoverse crossover film to kind of tie things up. So there is a lot of Star Wars going forward. What was your take on Mandalorian season 3?
I am still at the end of season 2. Actually, I heard so many bad things about season 3 that I didn't even bother.
You mean Jack Black and Lizzo didn't entice you to watch the season?
No, you know what? When I heard the Death Star had been recast, I wasn't wild to see it. But no, I believe it or not, that wasn't enough of a siren song to woo me to the rocks.
That's crazy. Like the state of Lucasfilm, just in general, like the Willow show that they produced, this upcoming Indiana Jones film, everything that they've done with Star Wars.
Indiana Jones and the hip of titanium.
More like the shoulder blade of titanium, because that was what was broken on Harrison Ford. But like, at what point do you think Disney?
My favorite one was Indiana Jones and the reasonably priced condo of Boca Raton.
That was awesome.
Do you think there's anything that will wake Disney up to the idea that they have a problem at the very top of Lucasfilm with Kathleen Kennedy, and that they need to get someone new in there?
I mean, I honestly think, rather than put it all on Kathleen Kennedy, I think they're concerned that the Lucas brand, the Lucasfilm brand in general, was a bit of a lemon that they acquired. If you look at the track record since they've acquired it, it's like, okay, Force Awakens, and when are we going to follow this up with a proper success? You know, we had Force Awakens, and believe it or not, it wasn't The Last Jedi that started the decline for revenue. It was actually Rogue One. So literally since Force Awakens, they have not bested the success that they initially found with the Force Awakens, and that goes pretty much cross brand. It's like Force Awakens, and I guess on the TV front, Mandalorian was a big hit for a minute, and but all of these are kind of losing steam. So I think they're looking at the Lucasfilm acquisition as kind of a shit. What do we do? They're in the position of thinking that they were acquiring a thriving brand, and actually they were sort of inheriting something that they were going to have to do a bunch of repair work on. You know, that I think that's honestly what's going on.
Was the brand just one of those things that was just too entrenched with our generation? I mean, if you look behind me, I've got a wall of Funko Pops and action figures and things over here, but not a single one of them belong to Disney era stuff. It's all original trilogy things. So I'm just kind of wondering if maybe they just, like you said, maybe they bought a lemon. Maybe this new generation of moviegoers had their thing with, Harry Potter or whatever.
Not only that, but
they weren't interested in Star Wars because they have their own things to go see. So
yeah,
maybe.
not only that, but where do kids get their taste from? Not completely, but to a degree. When they're really small kids, their parents take them to see Disney movies or whatever, right? Like they do, to a degree, get their taste from their parents. People kind of forget that, right? Like I wasn't allowed to pick my own movies as a fucking kid. You know what I mean? You had to watch Bambi and whatever. You had the old Disney VHSs in the big fucking bubble plastic cases, right? You had those, the ones that open like a book. That was like our entire movie library growing up.
Yeah, dude. If I was able to pick my movie when I was 13, oh my god.
Oh, right. Can you imagine, like, as a parent being like, fucking Disney Star Wars, let's get this train going, right? Imagine how many hair colors that fucking parent has. I honestly, I think it filters down. I think not being popular with previous generations who now have kids is hurting their appeal with kids because the parents aren't exposing the kids to it. They're like, we're not even going to fucking bother.
Right.
I think that actually is a factor.
Hey guys, if you like this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and comment below on your favorite video as well. That goes a long way with helping us boost our channel and get out there in front of more people. And it lets YouTube know that we're doing something right. And if you want to catch us live, we go live 2 times a week, once on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time and on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So join us there in the chat. We will see you on the live stream. Stay salty.